All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Misfit Corner Scams. It's the artist known as Andrew speaking, and we are live streaming once again. And I know this is very sad in the fact that this is only my second Scam Channel live stream dedicated to Misfit Corner Scams, and I'm already 35 minutes late. So that's what happens. We For those of you out there that know, tomorrow is Mother's Day, and we took my wife's mother and my wife and my kids. We all went out to dinner this evening, had a fantastic time, and just thoroughly enjoyed it. But that's the reason why I'm running late, because for some reason, I couldn't calculate time very well. I said, "Yeah, we'll get together at 6. We'll be done well before 8 o'clock, and then we'll live stream at 8." Nope, that's not how it happened. But that's okay. I'm here now, and we'll stream for as long as we want. But this was a very productive week on the channel. A lot of videos, at least one a day. I was going to ask the question if people wanted more daily. I have a backlist of videos that I've made, not videos ready for YouTube publication, but videos of scam calls as well as recordings of calls. Oh, hey, Clark, how's it going? Clark says, "Hey, Drew, welcome." I've got enough backlogged calls that I could probably do 2 videos a day, but I don't know if you guys want that or not. I think one video constantly every day. I have it set to go up usually at 10 a.m. Eastern time. One video a day. I think that's really good for now. If you guys want more, I can try and make more, but honestly, it all depends on who calls me. It all depends on which scammers are contacting me, because I get all my calls are incoming calls. They're not. I'm not calling anybody. I'm not calling uh, call centers and trying to screw with them. A lot of different people have different ways of doing things. I literally just work, do what I normally do, and when a call comes in, I take the call. So the fact that they still call, just I just don't understand it. I'm on some list somewhere where they're like, "We are not going to stop calling this guy till we scam him," and that's fine. They can keep trying. Um, One of the things I was thinking about earlier today, in preparation for tonight's live stream, is to talk about what I think is their ultimate goal, these scammers. And in my mind, I think there's at least three. There's three different goals of the scammers. The first one is to get your credit card information or your bank account information, to get into your financials and to have you freely give it up to them, give it over to them, by either pretending to be from a credit card company trying to lower your interest rate, or any other means in which they get access to your account. Hey, Manuel, how's it going? It says, "Good evening, Drew, my good friend. Welcome to the show, my friend." The second thing that they want is access to your computer or your tablet or your phone or your device. They want to have you open up or download some type of program that allows them access to your devices. And in those cases, they can do whatever they want. They can look into your financials, they can look into your histories, they can get as much information as they want, but they want you to willingly give them over the keys to your phone or your computer. Manuel says, "I'm doing good. I just finished eating dinner with my baby sister." Fantastic. We just got back from dinner ourselves. Had a really good time, celebrating Mother's Day and a couple of birthdays that were in there. So we had a good time. The third thing I think they want to do, and it's the one I think people kind of miss when these scam calls come in, and that is they want to get your personal information. Any bit of personal information that you provide to a caller, they can use, whether it's your date of birth, whether it's the city you live in, your zip code, your name, your just anything about you, any personal information about you, because they use that. They use that to attack you later with another scam. One of the things I think is funny, and I know this to be a fact, is I used to get a call all the time from the credit card scammers. And the call always says we're from Visa or MasterCard and so forth. And when I actually get somebody on the line, they'll ask me, what card do you have? And sometimes I would make up cards that I've never had. Bank of America, Discover, Chase. I don't have any of these accounts, any of these cards. But I will get later on calls where the automated voice at the beginning of the call says, it's Bank of America calling, or it's Discover calling. And they don't randomly just pick those out. It's because at one point in time, I told them I have a Bank of America account or a Discover account or whatever. They use that information as a means of attacking me and trying to scam me. And when they call and the automated system says we're from Discover or we're from Bank of America, it's supposed to make you trust them, to trust that whatever is going to come next is valid. It's true. It is your credit card company calling you. But the truth of the matter is, I don't have either of those. So when they call and they say it's Discover Card calling or it's Bank of America calling or whatever, I know, bottom line, it's not valid. It's not true. It's a 100% scam. So the three things that I think they're after: your bank account and your credit card information, your access to your computer, your tablet, or your phone, and third, your personal information. And it doesn't matter how minute it is. It can be any little thing. Like, I know a lot of times when they call and they're claiming to be from the final expense insurance, they ask you if you have any medical history, like diabetes or cancer or anything like that. If you say yes to any of those things, they're going to use that information in another scam call, another attempt to scam you. They'll call you and tell you that they're from something that is a legitimate type of thing, but they're going to be specific to you, and your name's going to go on a list, and they're going to try to hit you. It's just the truth. But that's why I say, whenever these people call, I never give them my real date of birth. I never give them my real address. Sometimes I give them my real name because sometimes they already know it. My name's very public, so it happens. But when it comes to like my date of birth, my age, my social, any of these things, I totally make all that crap up. And it's just the way it goes. I'm never going to give them any of my real information. Manuel says, I got phone calls from Chase yesterday afternoon. See no ID on the call, didn't answer that call. I understand. But here's the thing. If you do answer, they're going to keep calling. Because honestly, if they know somebody answers that phone, they will attempt to scam on it, or they will give the number to somebody else or sell the number to somebody else, and it'll be sold as a number in which people answer. And that's a big thing. So that's all right. All right. One of the things I was trying to do last week was catch up on my comments. And I figured, since we're here, let's go ahead and read and catch up on some comments. We'll see what's going on. And if you guys have any questions or any comments or anything, feel free, type it in the chat, and I will address it. You never know what's going to pop up. But let me go over to my YouTube studio real quick so that we can check out the most recent comments. See if there's anything good here. Honestly, I do learn and find out a lot from the comments. I get people that tell me about stories that where they were attempted to be scammed, about family members who had been scammed. I get comments and comments about, things that I could do differently. And matter of fact, lately I've been giving, when they ask for my address, I give them a fake address, which is actually a legitimate address. It's the address for one of the homeless shelters downtown, because it is a valid address. So if they Googled it, they'll find it. But it was somebody in the comments that suggested I do that. Just an address that is valid, but is not mine. Clark says, most scams, or I assume that they are scam calls, are automatically blocked from my iPhone. The only ones that come through are the ones that are spoofed from local numbers. Yep, that's absolutely true. What's so funny is my wife's phone is set to automatically forward calls to me, to my phone, if she doesn't answer like in 5 seconds. So she looks at it, she doesn't recognize the number, she just ignores it, and then comes to me. And what's so funny is I'll look at my phone at the end of the day, and it'll say scam call, or scam likely, scam likely, scam likely, and then there'll be a number in there that's just a regular number, and then scam likely, scam likely, scam likely, and that's usually the one that the system gets away with. I don't put any scam blockers on my phone. I want the calls to come to me, but a lot of people have phones, especially iPhones, that'll automatically ignore those calls. Not me. I like them. Manuel says, yes, I love your video. Makes about Amazon. I LOL factory about your factory about your funeral. Yeah, well, I'm gonna feel really bad when I'm gone that I never took these guys up on that final expense insurance, but well, they try so hard. They constantly try, which is great. All right. Let's see here. We might actually have some comments from you guys in here, because I know you guys are very active in my comments. So, and I do thoroughly appreciate it. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Going to the wrong spot. Let's go to comments. Okay. This is in regards to a cable service scam video. Jonathan says, today I got a Spectrum call with a caller ID of Bank of the West. Really? I don't have an account with the Bank of the West, but I asked why Spectrum calling from Bank of the West. Sometimes I've actually seen them. Sometimes the number that they're spoofing is an actual valid number for a bank or for a credit card company, and then they may identify as a different company. Because I've actually had like 800 numbers come up or 888 numbers come up, and they say, hey, this is blah, blah, blah from this bank. And I'll call the number back, and it's a completely different bank. Somebody somewhere got that number for a valid bank and decided to use that as the spoof number. So, yep, it happens. Denver Flipperer says, sounds almost like you talked to a recording message with the fill in the blank option. That does happen. I can sometimes tell when a call is an automated voice. And a lot of times you can tell when you ask a question or you answer something and then they repeat themselves. It's an automated thing. Most of the time, from what I understand, there's usually somebody listening in and responding to what you're saying. So there's somebody there. I'm not 100% sure if it's fully automated, but there are some that can be. So usually I always go under the assumption that if it sounds like an automated voice, there's somebody behind that listening in. I've had a couple of calls where I'll start screwing up them with the automated voice, and then they'll just disconnect or hang up or say goodbye. It's not because of the way I answered the question. It's because somebody listening in said, no, forget it. We give up on this guy. And that's all right. So the goal is always to waste as much of their time as possible. At the same time, trying to figure out what exactly the scam is about. What are they trying to get from you? And if I can help you by showing you what it is they're doing, all the better. Oh, Levi's here. Levi says they are soundboarding. Yes, that is correct. I've heard that term before, and that's exactly what they're doing. I forgot I can show you guys comments as they come up. Manuel says, I like your make video of scammer artists. Call you say from Medicare, lower your credit card, lower payments. Yes, those are two of my favorites. I've been getting a lot of the Medicare ones lately, which, it's kind of that season where they start targeting people. Richard says, what is the meaning of life scam killer? I have no idea. Life scam killer. Oh, he's talking about the life insurance, the funeral expense scams. That's what he's talking about. Funeral expense scams. I get a lot of those. All right, let's see. Rosemary says, Andrew, you're smart and they are so dumb. Great call as always. Thank you, Rosemary. I appreciate it. Dennis says, they're always good. There's always scam calls, even if they have your name. That is true. I always well, he's talking specifically about my Medicare video where I was saying that if Medicare is going to contact you, they're going to know your name. They're going to have that information. Or if they're going to ask a third party to reach out to you, they're going to provide your name. So they're going to have not just your phone number. So if they call you and they don't know your name, but they don't know who they're trying to reach, fairly certain Medicare didn't ask them to call you. Fairly certain it's 100% scam. Oh, hey, Rosemary. How's it going? Rosemary's here. Says, hi, Andrew. Great to see you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rosemary. Richard says, are you now paying attention to your Twitter feed? Nope, I have not been. I haven't been back on Twitter in a while. I went there. Actually, I just went there a few days ago because somebody had mentioned something that was going on there. I went, I looked, I saw, and I left. I'm not going there regular, at least not yet. Ishmael says, hey, hello, each and every one. Hello, sir. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good evening. All right, let's check out the next message. Dennis says, they're always scam calls, even if they have your name. Okay, yeah, I already read that. Okay. Randy says, I get about 12 or more of these calls every day. He's talking about the Medicare ones. They are annoying. They are annoying. They get you on a list and they don't stop. Where's my baby 65 says, I'm having a DNA test kit scammer calling. Oh, I haven't gotten that one before. They asked me if I got the kit they sent 2 weeks ago. Then they have your first name and address, but no last name. They try to tell me it's free Medicare. We'll pay for it. Let's see what else he says. Will pay for it. Even when they know it's a scam, they don't give up. I'm at the point to tell them to stick it where the sun doesn't shine. That's perfect. The only problem with some of these scams is once they know you're going to answer the phone, they're going to keep calling. They're never going to give up. And that's why I always say, I'm not going to stop screwing with them. I mean, there's a chance they might stop calling me, but I don't think that's going to happen. Sandra says, you asked a trick question. Who are you trying to reach? Trick that poor ignoramus. That's right. You would think if somebody's going to call you, they're going to know your name or they're going to know who they're trying to contact. I've had many Medicare scam calls where they call and you say, who are you trying to reach? And they said, well, I'm trying to reach the person who has Medicare. It's like, good try. Be just a slightly bit more specific. And I'll tell you guys a secret. There are 2 people in my home that are on Medicare. So the asking the simple question, who are you calling for, should not be that difficult. It's either one of 3 people, and most of the time they haven't a clue. That's a solid giveaway that they're trying to scam you. Ishmael says, yes, all good, thanks. Perfect. And then Manuel says, good evening, Ishmael, all good here for my friend. Okay, excellent. I have such a really great, happy, fun community. You guys are I just love interacting with the comments, with chatters, with the people. I mean, I think the thing that connects all of us, and I think everybody here will probably agree with this, we all get these types of calls. Everybody gets these types of calls. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter, where you live, everybody gets these type of calls. Now I have had some comments from people in Australia, in other countries, and I really wonder if they get these type of calls as well, or as they probably do, maybe not as often as people in the States do. But I mean, I know I had a comment one time from somebody in the UK, and they have issues with this as well. They get these types of calls all the time, but I'm just curious how often they get them, But maybe I'll pose the question on a video and see what kind of responses I get. All right, let's see what else we got here. Matt says, I've had them call and ask for me by name, so be careful. Yes, that is true. They sometimes will know your name. And like I said before, my name is publicly connected to my telephone number. I mean, if you Google my telephone number, my name's going to pop up. So I actually had an Amazon scammer. Was it Amazon or Medicare? No, I think it was Amazon, that he had my full name, my first, middle, and last name. And the only place I use my first, middle, and last name is on my old um, Facebook account. I had two Facebook accounts, one with my first and last name, and then one with all three names. That was kind of one that I used like for family and friends, close family and friends, but it's publicly out there. It's connected to my phone number, it's connected to my address and so forth. It's out there. So somebody can figure it out. I really can't hide myself. I've never tried to use a fake name when it comes to having people contact me either through Facebook, Twitter, or whatnot. I don't go up by a pseudonym. It's either Misfit Corner or it's me, you know. Let's see. Rosemary says, you do a fantastic job of telling us about the scams and what they do. I thank you so much for your videos and the message. Not a problem. Thank you, Rosemary. I honestly, I have so much fun making these videos and making and talking to these people that it's really not. It's like, what's that old expression? If you enjoy your job, if you have fun with it, you never work a day in your life. These scam calls are very much fun to me. So I treat them as fun. I treat them as silly. I don't take them seriously at all. I mean, what's the worst thing they can do to me? They can call me back. There might be worse things they can do to me. There's absolutely worse things they could do to me, but I'm really not afraid of them. Really not worried about them. But I don't think they're going to waste time with me, little old me. But you never know. If I get Kit Boga level of popularity, maybe they'll come after me. But who knows? You never know. Ishmael says messing with scammers is much fun. It is. It is. I tell people a lot. Well, if you've ever watched any of my videos, you know I say it over and over again. Either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. I encourage people to screw with them. I encourage people to mess with them. I encourage people to give them fake information. Never give them your real information. Just screw with them and have fun with it because they're not going to stop calling, you know? But that's the way it goes. All right. Manuel says, thank you so much, Drew. I get lots of answers about scammers. No problem. No problem. And then Rosemary says, it means a lot to everyone, especially the older generation who may fall for them. Regrettably, I know that to be true. One of the things I tell people when I'm talking to them personally about this stuff, and I probably should include it in some of my videos, the older generation, the grandmas, the great grandmas, the grandfathers, the great grandfathers, they are the prime targets for these scammers. And whenever a new scam happens, a new scam comes up, and you learn information about it, pass it on to your older people. Just pass it on to your older family. I said this last time we were talking about it. I had heard, Clark Howard on the radio was talking about some new scam that was happening, and I immediately called my mother because she's a target. My father is a target, and said, "Hey, be on the lookout for this type of thing. Be on the lookout." So if you hear something in one of my videos that you weren't aware of, or something that somebody in your family who could be a target of that kind of video, share the information with them. Just let them know, hey, this is something they're trying to do. Be aware of it. The one I got the other day was the Walmart gift card one. I'd never gotten a Walmart gift card one. It's exactly like the Amazon one, where they're calling and say, hey, we saw some suspicious activity. Somebody using your name ordered a Walmart gift card. I know some older folks that would probably fall right for that one. So be careful. And if you learn something, pass it on. Pass it on. Either share the video with them or just call them and let them know that this thing exists out there. That's the best thing you can do. So my mother-in-law has a tendency to get a lot of scam calls. And from time to time, I always tell her, if the phone rings, let me pick it up. Let me handle it. Sometimes if I'm not here, she'll answer it. And she is a genuinely a very sweet person. So when somebody calls, she wants to be nice. and not realizing these people want to scam her and take advantage of her. So she tends to be nice with them. And I'm like, no, let me talk to them. let me share my thoughts with them. All right, back to this part real quick. All right, let's see. Matt says, yep, he has the names. Be careful. Artist knows. Lisa says, that's a good point. Some information can be easily found if scammers are so motivated, especially on a landline. That is absolutely true. Stephanie says, the guy was trying his level best to speak English. These scammers get on my nerve, calling me constantly. Yep. Well, I hate to say it, but I don't know if there's any way to stop getting scam calls. You can have scam blockers on your phone, but I really don't think that's going to help because they're going to find a way to get around it. They're going to find a way to get through to your number, and it sucks. It's horrible. These are disgusting people.
Did I just print to you?
What's that?
Did I just print to you?
Yes, apparently you did. Hey everybody, this is my sweet my mother-in-law.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Hello, everybody.
She's having issues with her printer, so she prints to my printer in my office. I'm going to tell her later that I was live streaming. She'll be so embarrassed. But well, back to what we were saying here. All right, Stephanie, I read that comment. Max says the overly American accent gives it away every time. You must watch a lot of films on their free time. That's possible. I had a scammer once. It's one of my. It was either an Amazon scam or a Social Security scam, where it was Social Security, where the guy identified himself as Officer Rick Grimes, which, if anybody out there watches The Walking Dead, that's like the main character in The Walking Dead. It's just hilarious that they try to use that. Sorry about that. I got to the mute button before I sneezed, so I saved you all. I saved all your lives. All right, hold on a second. Let's see what else is going on here. Let's see. Bali YouTube reaction says, my comment is there. I am I am here watching and hitting the button. Hi, everybody. Oh, I did read your comments. I read them earlier today. I haven't gotten to them yet, and I appreciate everything you wrote in there. All very good advice. Thank you so much for checking out my videos and adding. I can't say this enough. Anybody who comments, whether it's good, bad, just thank you or advice or whatever, I appreciate every single person that does that. So thank you so much. KJ Bird says the one that Google uses are effective in my experience. Really? Okay. So a Google scam blocker. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I don't turn on any of my scam blockers, so I get everything. I do that on purpose because I want the calls. But if the Google one works, that's great. That's great. Rosemary says, come on, everybody, please press the like button for this guy. He's really trying the best to help all people. Thank you, Rosemary. I appreciate it. Jamal says, Bali, and claps. Manuel says, it was 5:22 p.m. another phone, and 5:23 p.m. missed a call. Yep. Yeah, I found a lot more scammers are calling after 5 o'clock, which is kind of interesting because usually it's early in the morning, not early in the morning. I don't think I get very many calls before 9 o'clock, and usually around 5 is when I figure they give up. But I've gotten some calls after 5 before, so they got their own time frame. And Rosemary, thumbs up, very good. Manuel says, I'll give you a good compliment when you make some good videos. Absolutely. And if I make a crappy video, make sure you tell me. Manuel, make sure you go in there and say, hey, your audio sucks, or we could barely hear the scammer, because I'm constantly trying to do better at making better videos for you guys. And sometimes I'm very much a boomer when it comes to some of this stuff. So Bali says, Hello, Allie. I love it when everybody talks to each other. That's great. Rosemary gives lots of thumbs up. And Manuel says, it was text now, my iPad Pro 9.7 Drew. Gotcha. All right, let's get back to this. Jan responded to Max by saying, they think that if they use a fake accent, we'll fall for their scam. But this guy misses one thing, and that is a working brain. It's absolutely true. The recorded message is a lot smarter than Hindi scams. Mark, or what his name is. Yep. Beta Ray says, problem with these are the scams may be told that they are legit when they are not. Many scam bosses trick their own workers, but but the second people like this, they demand money laundering, such as gift cards. Plausible deniability becomes zero. They are scammers. Yes, that is true. I I dealt with a one of the Social Security scammers one time, and it was early on, and I played it out to find out exactly what it is they wanted me to do, and they literally wanted you to go to like a CVS store and buy a gift card, to put your to protect your money, and then they wanted you to call them back with the information from the gift card. And I kept asking the guy. I said, "Well, my bank is right next to the CVS. Wouldn't it be better for me to go into my bank to protect my money?" And they're like, "No, you need to go into the CVS." It's like, that's so freaking ridiculous. It amazes me that there are people out there that fall for this stuff, that get scammed by this. But to be honest with you, if a scammer scares somebody enough, makes them worried that their money's in jeopardy, or they're going to be arrested, or somebody they know is going to be arrested or has been arrested, if they can scare you enough, you almost be willing to fall for anything. Now I know you guys have probably heard the story. I know somebody shared it on one of my comments about where an elderly person in the family gets a call saying that a grandson or something has been arrested and needs money to be bailed out. And I think one of my followers commented that the person went to the bank in order to get the money to pay the scammer, and the bank manager stepped in and said, "What's happening is you're being scammed," and they were able to save them from wasting the money. My wife's grandmother got that call one time saying that her grandson, my son, was in New York and in jail, and she knew he and I had a trip planned for New York, but she didn't know if we were actually on the trip or not. And when she heard it, grandson in New York was enough for her to go, "Oh my gosh, what happened to my grandson? What's going on?" It was enough to panic her. And luckily, she took a second and called me and said, "Hey, are you in New York?" And we're like, "No, that's not." This is like the middle of July, and we're like, "That trip's not till October." And she's then explains to me what's going on. It's like totally 100% a scam, but it was just enough information for her to panic and think it was real. And they do that. They try to take advantage of people that way. Oh, Levi says, "Have a good one, Ishmael." Is it Ishmael? I'm assuming so. I'm never very good about that. Yeah. Oh, I see where he said he'd got to go. Okay. Cool. Appreciate it, dude. Thanks a lot for stopping in. Rosemary says, "Your videos are fantastic. Don't worry, we love them." Well, there's always room for improvement. So you guys comment, let me know, tell me what I'm doing right, tell me what I'm doing wrong, make suggestions. One of the things I used to do at the beginning of my scan videos is there was like an 8-second clip where it played music, and it just said, "It's a scam," or "Misfit Corner Comics," or whatever it was, presents, "It's a scam," and so forth. And I got tired of posting that. So I started adding like little commentary, my own personal little commentary at the beginning with a little music underneath it, lowered down to like a 2 on the volume scale. I don't know. I kind of like that better. I don't think anybody's ever commented, say, "Hey, we missed the other way you did it better." But constantly trying to come up with new ways to make the videos better. But definitely let me know if you have suggestions. Definitely let me know if I'm doing it right, and I do appreciate it. Rosemary says hi to everyone in the chat. Yes, hello everyone. Rosemary says, Andrew, I thought you were UK based. Really? No, 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 no. I'm good old USA, right? Well, when I tell scammers I'm in Florida, that's because I am in Florida. Matter of fact, I'm in Jacksonville, which is Jacksonville is sometimes often very difficult for some of these scammers to say. I've heard some different interpretations, and hell, Florida is hard for them to say sometimes. So it's a lot of fun. But I always assume if they have my number, they have my area code. It's a Jacksonville, Florida area code, so it's not something I can really lie or hide, you know. So UK, really? Do I have a British accent? No, I can't even do a British accent. I wouldn't even try. Never mind. Manuel says, yes, I watch your YouTube videos about bad scammers. Say about it. Wait a minute. No. I watch YouTube videos about bad scammers. Say about it. Okay. And he says, you're doing a terrific job. You're doing really well. I'm very proud of you, my homeboy. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. He says, I'm from Louisiana, USA. Oh, okay. Excellent. Excellent. Trying to think if I've ever been to Louisiana. I think as a kid, my parents and I may have driven through Louisiana, but I don't know if we ever stayed there very long. Actually, I think we've been to New Orleans at least once. We went to Mardi Gras once, but I was still just a little kid, so I don't remember it very much. Oh, gotta love the South, man. Gotta love the South. All right, let's see what else we got here. Bali YouTube reaction. Oh, this is Bali's comment. I'll read this one. This was a good one. Oh, wait, that's not what I want to see. I didn't want to reply. I want to read the stupid thing. Not stupid. You know what I mean. He says, advice. You were a little late into this scamming video. Kit Boga and Pierogi have covered this topic as well as Pleasant Queens. I'm sure you know. Change the setting of your background and buy a ring light. You still have places in. Hold on a second. You still have place in the niche, and people like to watch. You have good views already, so this is much room for you to improve. Cheers. I appreciate it. That's all good advice. I honestly, when I started making my videos and posting the videos, I wasn't watching anybody else's, so I'm not familiar with what everybody's out there doing. I just found them entertaining and funny and figured I'd share them. So if somebody's already aware of the Amazon scam or the Medicare scam or the Walmart scam, then it's good that people are aware. I'm just making the videos because I think they're fun and entertaining. And if I can inform somebody, that's a bonus and I enjoy it. So the ring light thing, I have looked into that. I just have not gotten that far yet. It's almost like YouTubing on a budget in the fact that I have cats walking across my desk. You big butt. YouTubing on a budget. I have a headphone. I have a microphone. I have a camera. I have a microphone on my desk that I turn on when I'm taking a call, and I put it on speakerphone. And I have a light that I use when I'm doing stuff. So it's there is no professionalism here whatsoever. It's just YouTube basic. Just make a video. But I appreciate the advice and I appreciate it. So those are things I definitely will look into. She follows back up and says, you have the advantage that Pierogi and Kit Boga are already known to the scammers. Yes, that is true. Their voice and acts. You are unknown to take this to your advantage. Best of luck, and I will watch and like. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Once again. Guys, I'm sorry if I sound like an idiot when I'm reading these. it's been a long day and I have issues with my vision sometimes, and I'm really, really squinting to be able to read these comments, but I promise to always try to do better. Bang says, thank you for doing what you do. I've learned many methods on how to make money from this channel. Keep up the content, bro. Okay. I'm not sure if what exactly he's saying here, whether he's learning methods to make money from this channel. I'm not sure how you make money from my channel unless you're a scammer. But hey, more power to you. It's I don't know if you guys, there's what is his name? The comedian. Oh crap, I always blank on names. It's the famous the Netflix guy. Dave Chappelle. Okay, Dave Chappelle has a joke where he's talking about shooters in schools, and he was talking about how they get all the kids together and they tell them this is what you need to do if there's an active shooter in the building and so forth. But his point was, most likely the person who's going to be the active shooter is in the class with all these kids saying, oh, is this where they all go together? This is where we all supposed to meet up. Very good information to have. That's similar to this here. I'm making these videos exposing scammers and what it is they're trying to do. And there's a really good chance that scammers are watching this, learning what it is that identifies them as a scammer. I'm not sure if there's anything they can do about that. But you never know. You never know. But what I was trying to say is that making videos exposing the scammers may also help scammers identify ways in which they're easily identified. And maybe they can use that to their advantage. Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. So I know that was a really roundabout circle to get to the point I was trying to. Guys, that would be my wife's cat, Benji. He likes to get my attention by walking right across my desk. So, all right, here we go. Let me catch up on the chats. Rosemary says, wow, that's great, Andrew. I hold great respect for you and all the people from all over the world. Sounds good. Nigella Bloom says, good evening, all. Welcome to the show. Manuel says, we live in New Jersey before moved to Louisiana with my family. I lived in New Jersey very briefly. My dad was a military guy, so we moved up and down the East Coast, and we lived in New Jersey for a while, but it was when I was a little kid, so I don't remember very much about it. We've been here in Jacksonville since I was in 8th grade. So Rosemary says, good evening to all. Hope everyone is doing well. Oh, just a quick reminder, tomorrow's Mother's Day. If you have a mother-in-law, grandmother, anybody, any mothers in your family, make sure you reach out. Wish them a happy Mother's Day. Just a quick reminder. So I'm sure you all know that, but I figured I'd mention it. Betty says, you are the first thing I look for every morning. Oh, that's so sweet. Always makes me laugh. I especially like the Medicare scams. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Betty. I appreciate it. Rosemary says, Andrew, you're doing great. Thank you very much. What's so funny is my goal is to always put up at least one video a day. And if something happens during the day and I don't get an opportunity to make a video, and it's usually the last thing I do at night for the next day, I always tell my wife, if I can, I try to make 2 or 3 videos, make it a little bit easier on myself. But lately I've been doing one video and getting it ready for the next day. And it's to the point where if I don't do it, I failed, and I can't let that happen. I can't fail. I can't not have a video. And honestly, I haven't made a video for tomorrow yet. So when we're done with this live stream, I got to get to work and make a video. Like I said before, I have a backlog of recordings that I can make. I've been going through them, and there's a couple that, I made the recording and then just put it aside and said, maybe I can use this, maybe I can't. And I had a whole bunch that I had noted as Amazon hangups, where the message comes through, I talk to the person, they say, what's your name? I give them a name, and they immediately hang up because they realize I'm screwing with them. I had several of those. I said, that's not worth making a video of. Other than the fact they're a bunch of chickens and they don't want to play with me. They don't want to play the game. But there's nothing there to make a video of, so I got rid of those videos. I had a bunch of those. I had like 5 or 6, like in a 2 or 3 day span. And so I think at one point I thought about keeping them just to show people the number of calls I get in a single day. Like here's what a regular Tuesday's like, and have hang up, credit card scam, Medicare scam, hang up. I don't know if you guys would find that interesting, a bunch of hang ups, but I got rid of them. There's too many more things going on. So let's see. Manuel says, you remember, Drew, about the lady scammers about the grandson, and she works with the police station. She set up a trap, and the police was waiting for the scammer at her house. Yep, I do remember reading that article. That's I don't think any of the scammers I deal with are here in the States, so I don't think that's ever going to happen. But there are scammers in your area that try to take advantage of people. I know there's a lot of scamming that goes on places like Craigslist and so forth, where they try to take advantage of people. I don't get involved with that kind of stuff. It's simply they're calling me, trying to get my information, and I'm just screwing with them. But you never know. You never know what's going to come across my desk. Manuel says, it was TV news about 2 months ago. Yep, I do remember it. 2 months ago is what he was saying. Okay, yep. He says, we live in the year 1973 through 1976. We moved to Louisiana. Oh, gotcha. That was about the time I was born, man. somewhere in that time frame. He says, we lost our mom in the year 2014. She was 83 years old. Dude, I'm so sorry. But, keep her in your thoughts. Keep her in your prayers. Keep everybody in your family in your thoughts and prayers. Now's the time to do it. Yeah, we just celebrated. My father-in-law passed away a year ago yesterday. And, it's one of those things that kind of, I don't want to say opens your eyes, but it makes you realize the important things in life. Right now, my wife, my kids, they're very, very important. And make sure that everything I do is in order to, help them make it easier. Yeah, that's all you can do. All right, Rosemary says, Andrew, I'm going to buy a whistle to use on the scammers that call me. I actually did something similar one time. I had I forgot, it was either a credit card scammer or an Amazon scammer, and I was leaving Walmart at the time, and I was walking out to my car, and I was trying to delay them, have them hold on long enough, because I wanted to get into my car, and as soon as I started the car, I was going to jack the radio up and just have it blast in the phone. I don't know if it actually had the effect I wanted it to have, but I have, maybe one of those boat whistles, the type thing. That'd be funny. But most likely they would just hang up and then call you back later. Let's see. Manuel says, and we lost my dad in the year 2018. Dude, I'm so sorry. Luckily for me, both my mom and dad are still around. My dad's had some medical issues over the last couple of years, but they're still around. And every time I talk to them, make sure I tell them I love them. Make sure they know. It's one of those important things you don't ever want to. You don't want to ever miss out on making sure they know. But I know, guys, me and Manuel are bringing this down, but now's the time to remember everybody. All right, let me move on. Nigella says, like you, I follow the final expense Medicare and credit cards. Wait a second. Like you, I follow final expense Medicare and credit cards. They're not Indian, but Pakistani scammers. Yeah. I don't know the difference. I have had a scammer on one time where he realized I was screwing with him, and he just talked to me, and he told me he was from Pakistan. And honestly, I never know if I can trust anything that actually comes out of these guys' mouths. But he told me he was in Pakistan. I was rather shocked at that because, that's not where you usually think scams come from. But I guess they have scammers everywhere, you know? Rosemary says, Andrew, I got 26 calls in one day. I was so upset. Wow. I don't honestly think I've ever gotten 26 in one day. I had a day where I got 8 Amazon scams in one day, and I got several hangups as well, but 26 calls. Wow. Rosemary, your name and numbers, or at least your numbers on somebody's list somewhere. Manuel says, my dad was 80 years old when he passed away. I think he's, let me see, 77 is what he turns this year. So he's getting up there. Yeah. Just make sure every time I talk to him, tell him I love him, Najela says, I speak Urundi, Punjabi, Hindi, and Bengali. Very cool. Hey, I have a recording. I gotta check. I don't think I made it into a video yet, but I had a recording one time where I think it was a credit card scammer, because the call began as a credit card scam. But the lady came on the line, and I guess maybe she was talking to somebody else, but she was talking in whatever her first language was, I guess. And I'm like just listening, and I have no idea what she was saying. I probably should release that video and ask if anybody knows what they were saying. They might actually be revealing something, about the scam. Maybe. I don't know. But regrettably, I only speak one language, and I barely do that very well. Matter of fact, it was a it was a subject of dinner this evening where we were talking about different languages. And my mother-in-law took like 3 years in Spanish, so she has some Spanish knowledge. I took Latin. I took 3 years of Latin in high school, and I don't know crap. I was a horrible, horrible student. I had an English teacher one time recommend that I take Latin because of all the fundamentals of the language, of the English language, that came from Latin words. Like if you understand like where a word comes from, you can sometimes figure out exactly what it means. Like for example, podiatrist is a foot doctor. Well, the word ped is the Latin word for foot. So, hey, that's one thing I learned from Latin. But oftentimes I will see a word and I will remember where the root of it came from and be a little bit more familiar with what the word means. But I can barely speak English as it is. I'm such a blumbering idiot, But I did it. I didn't do it very well, but I did it. So I took a dead language in high school and barely remember anything. Actually, the one phrase that I do remember, I shouldn't say it because it was bad. Everybody learns the curse words first, That's just the honest to God truth. But the phrase that I know is not appropriate for YouTube. All right, let's see what else we got here. Nigella says, Karachi folks speak Urundi. Okay. And then Rosemary says, honestly, really, I did. Now, if I don't recognize the number, I don't answer the call. I just reject it. Probably the safest bet. Like I said, my wife, her phone automatically forwards calls. So if she sees a number and if it's a scam likely, or she just doesn't recognize it, she just lets it go to me. If it ends up being something important, like if it's a doctor returning a call or something else that she's expecting and just doesn't recognize the number, then she knows I'm going to answer it, and I'll bring her the phone and say, hey, honey, it's whatever. But 9 out of 10 times she assumes it's a scam call, and I'm going to answer it anyway. So that's just the way it goes. And I love it. I tell her I appreciate the heck out of it that she sends all those calls my way. All right, back to the comments. Vaz says, thank you so much for this video. Which one is that? Oh, that's the Walmart scam. Yep, that's a good one. Young Goose says, I never had any problem with Wally's gift cards. Me neither. Any of the ones I bought legitimately, I've never had a problem with. Australia says, "Oh, great job at confusing quote unquote Kevin." Yep. So very easy to do with a hassle-free job for you. Great job, my friend. So grateful to learn how not to get scammed by Kevin at the scammer. Keep up the great work you do, and have a fantastic week, and stay safe from Australia. Very cool. See, I'm curious. I'm going to leave her a comment, or actually, I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl. I don't know. Australia just sounds like a feminine name, but could be a guy. I'm going to ask if they actually get these kinds of calls. So I'm going to have to make sure I remember to do that. I will mark it and come back to it later. Dennis says, throw him a curve and tell him you want to double that order on the Walmart gift card one. Absolutely. Yeah, one of the things, the basis for the Amazon scam calls or the Walmart gift card scams is what they're telling you is that someone has placed an order and they're calling to confirm it and giving you the opportunity to cancel it. Why would they want to cancel any order that pays them money? They don't have time to do that with every single order, especially large orders. They just don't. Amazon is not going to take the time to call every single person who orders an iPod or an iPhone. It's just not going to happen. I know iPods, nobody uses iPods, but you know what I mean. They're not. They're not going to take that much time. And because why would they risk losing that order in the first place? You know, the whole idea of them calling to give you the opportunity to cancel is just kind of ridiculous on just on that basic notion, you know. Let's see here. Rosemary says, Andrew, you're giving great advice for all. Well, I hate to say it, but a lot of times I think the advice I'm giving is a common knowledge, but I think there's a lot of people out there that when they get these calls, there's enough believability in them that the callers panic and they think there's the possibility that it could be real. You know, when they're calling from Amazon, they're like, oh, wait a minute, I just placed an order with Amazon. Oh my gosh, somebody's got my number, somebody's got my name, somebody's got my information. There's enough believability in there that it scares them and they can believe it. And the honest truth is, it's all 100% scam. The Amazon one, the Walmart gift card one, a lot of these Medicare ones are all scams, or they're phishing. They're phishing for your personal information. The credit card ones, the lower your interest rate credit card, I have never heard of a valid program by any credit card company that they contact you to lower your interest rate. I've never heard of that. If there is a real program out there where they lower your interest rate on your credit cards, somebody tell me, because I don't see a single credit card issuing bank or company willingly lowering credit card rates, interest rates. It's not going to happen because that's where they make their money. You know, they're not going to say, oh, you know what, we're making millions and millions of dollars every day. Let's go ahead and stop doing that. You know, it's not going to happen. I really don't think it's ever going to happen. And Nigella says, Kolkata Amazon scammers have 3 shifts: Australia, UK, and the USA. Really? Really? That's very interesting. You know? I mean, I assume scammers call all over the world. Australia, UK, US, that definitely sounds right in line with what you would assume. Major places where people live and do business and would actually use Amazon. Actually, I think Amazon probably delivers all over the world, so I think everybody is familiar with Amazon. So Manuel says, Drew, you don't believe my age is 59 years old? Well, hey, if you tell it to me, I believe it. I was telling my mother-in-law this evening that I have a bunch of different ages that I give out on these scam calls. I have to keep them all in line, and I have to make sure that when they do the calculation from the date of birth you give them, that the age you gave them matches up. So when I tell them I'm 62, my date of birth has to be 1960. When I tell them I'm 67, my date of birth has to be 1955. Before, prior to today, of course, because if it's after today, then the numbers get totally screwed up. So Manuel says, I hear call center in Spain. Really? Wow. I don't think I've ever gotten a call from a scammer in Spain. I'm absolutely 100% sure it exists, but I've never gotten one of those calls. So at least not that I'm aware of. All right, let's just read up here. Jan says the scammer must better learn English instead of bad Hindi accent. Yeah. I wouldn't know a Hindi accent from any other accent, to be honest with you. So John says, oh my God, that guy's voice was a dead giveaway. It's a scam. My ears started bleeding the moment he spoke. That's pretty harsh. The moment he speaks, you know it's a scam. Well, that's a good, that's, I can't always rely on a foreign accent being a scam, but by God, it seems that way so often, you know? You know, it's like that is their biggest, you know, means of having a job is scam call centers. God, could you imagine having a job where your job is to contact people and try to trick them into giving you their credit card number or bank card information, or to give them or get access to their could any of you out there actually do a job that does that, is so dishonest and does that? I mean, you have got to be the lowest of the low to take a job like that, you know? Now, I understand, you know, there are jobs where you call people and you're trying to sell something and you may not be 100% honest, or when you're trying to sell something. I'm sure that job exists, but to have a job where your only goal is to steal from somebody, whether it's access to their computer, their credit card numbers, or whatever, that's your job. That, I don't know, that if that's your life really sucks. You know, I mean, honestly, ugh. I hate to think that that's all people have is that, you know. Part of me feels sorry for them, but a part of me knows that if that's what they're willingly doing as their profession, their quote unquote profession, soulless is a really good word to describe somebody who does that. And you know for a fact, and it's a God-given truth, that they target the elderly community. They target the people that don't know, don't, and are easily scared. You say just a few phrases and it panics them, you know. And you hear it in a lot of these scam calls that they're hitting on particular keywords to scare people, you know, especially like the Amazon scams or the Social Security scams. The Social Security one, that's one of my, they use the same exact script every time. Somebody has rented a car under your name. The car was found on the border of Texas with drugs and blood in it. It's like, oh my God! If you're an older person who doesn't realize it's a scam, the thought of those things being real panics the hell out of you, and you're willing to listen to whatever the person has to say, because obviously something bad is happening and you need to find out what's going on, and you're willing to do almost anything to make sure they're not coming after you. You know, they're telling you these things to scare you. You know, it's like watching the nightly news. I had a conversation with my mother one time. I said, you do realize that the mainstream media, the social networking people, the people that are in charge, they want you to be one of three things. They want you to be scared, they want you to be angry, or they want you to be stupid. and we were having a discussion about something, and my mother, I love her, God love her. She tends to be very emotional when it comes to certain things, and we were talking about something. I don't remember specifically what it was. It doesn't really matter, but I said, Mom, you're angry, you're scared, and you're being stupid. You've hit all three. You've hit the trifecta. You're exactly what they want. They want you to be angry. They want you to be mad, angry, mad. They want you to be scared, or they want you to be stupid. Because they can sell you stuff. They can convince you of stuff. They can convince you to change the way you do things, the way you want to live your life. They don't want you to do it your way. They want you to be scared. They want you to be angry, and they want you to do it their way. You know? And a lot of these scammers, they target people with those exact same things. They want you to be scared. They want you to be angry. And they love it if you're stupid. So, bottom line, everybody, common sense, don't be stupid. And know that if somebody calls you up and tells you some ridiculous far out story, or tells you can get something for free, or tells you that they're going to give you something, all you got to do is just do this or do that, the expression that it's too good to be true is very much, there's a reason why it's a valid expression, because it's absolutely true. All right, everybody out there, I appreciate you coming in, making comments, watching the live stream. I love doing this. I love talking to you people. I love talking to everybody. I love reading your comments. There's a part of me that thinks YouTube is such a great opportunity to talk to people, to communicate to people, to tell them your ideas, to share what you're thinking. And it's a wonderful way for people to find you, to see what it is that you're about, and enjoy and have fun with it. Bottom line, if you guys get these scam calls, either hang up on them or do like I do and screw with them. Oh, I think I messed that up. Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm talking about. Never give them your personal information. Never give them anything that they can use against you in the future. And honestly, it could be something very simple. If they know where you live, if they know where, oh, heaven forbid, should they ever find out where you work, don't ever reveal any of that information. I mean, I give out my store name all the time, so people know exactly where I am every weekend, but don't be like me. Don't be stupid like me. But I thank you all so much for coming. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Remember, if you have a mother-in-law, grandmother, a mother type person in your family, make sure you give them a call tomorrow. Stop by, say hi to them, tell them you love them, give them a hug. It goes a long way, But everybody, be safe, and I'll see you guys next time, okay? Oh, I forgot to mention it. I have two other channels. You guys may not be familiar with them. I have Misfit Corner Comics, which is my channel that follows my store and pretty much comics in general, something I love. And then there's Misfit Corner Comics Draws, which is my drawing channel. I completely and utterly forgot to do my live stream last Wednesday, but I do live stream on those two channels, the comics on Friday and the draw channel on Wednesday. If you guys are bored, come check it out. All right? Otherwise, I'll see you here, and have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks a lot for checking in, guys.